Hi there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Market. This is the type of style I usually do on my Gun or Game channel. Just show you kind of around my back room and talk about more of the game store market. But this video, I've got a bunch of product I was able to buy a distribute out. These suckers have been at distribution level now for years. So this product was released, Secret Lair Ultimate Edition, what, like 3 years ago? And a distributor's had some of them left. I still think another distributor has them left too at a little bit higher price. But I decided to buy them out because I'll pull it up on the screen of how much each card is worth from the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition 2. So these are the ones that will have we'll crack one open here and I'll show you what it contains. And then I'll give you my reasoning of why I think these are a good product to get into now. And it mainly has to do with the announcement of Wizards of the Coast now doing the spotlights, the Magic spotlights, which are kind of like the return of the Grand Prix. So they're trying to like combine the Grand Prix and the Mythic Championship and the what they used to call the conventions, the Commander Fests, all those things into one, and have a Magic spotlight. Now there have been a lot of videos done already about the Magic spotlight and what people think about it. I agree with a lot of the main points by some of the other bigger YouTubers that, you know, 5 per year is not the greatest. We used to have like a Grand Prix every month. And the whole reason for that is they needed to be in areas like you only got one in your area, you know, every year, every 2 years. So they need to have a lot more, which I agree with. So let me get you back up to when I started Magic the Gathering and kind of tell you all the newcomers here. The change of pace, for one, that Magic experienced from going to, like, it was so event driven. Like everything was all about going to your Friday Magics and then going to your PTQs and going to your Grand Prix and watching the Pro Tour. When I got into Magic the Gathering, that's what it was about. And the market actually responded a lot to it. And then we went through a period of what I like to call the commanderification of Magic. And then it was the secret layers and so it started to really appeal towards the kitchen table Magic player. And I actually put Commander players, sorry if I offend you Commander players, but you're basically kitchen player Magic players. Like you're in the same category of ultra casual. Yes, there are people that aren't casual, but when I talk about casual, I mean in the competitive sphere. That you don't necessarily need specific cards or specific deck lists or whatnot. It got to this like more of a casual, play at your own pace. Events turned into more about cosplaying and vendors and the aesthetics of the event than it was about the competition. And then Wizards of the Coast was so surprised when attendance just pummeled. Or plummeted, not pummeled. And I mean, certain attendance did, but it was like no one, so the last major event that I went to, it actually had quite a few people there, but no one was playing any tournaments because the focus was, there was just no clear path to a Pro Tour. 1 versus 1 had just been put on the back burner and just people just didn't really care to play in the more competitive or the 1v1 formats. And it mainly had to do with the fact that Wizards of the Coast was not giving people a clear path to going to Pro Tours or giving people a reason why to play a competitive. In my opinion, a good analogy would be if like the NFL decided to get rid of the Super Bowl. And how would that affect your high school football teams? Like the thing is it would. That's my whole point is that people think that, oh, the Pro Tour is only for the pros. Like this is only for people that are ultra good. No, everyone has a dream to get there. Everyone, like every area has their little tryhards, their little groups that are like dreaming of making a Pro Tour. Now I've made a Pro Tour. I've played on that, you know, that scene, the Grand Prix circuit stuff. And the energy was just so much different back in like 2014 to 2018 when that was the focal point of Magic the Gathering. Each new set release was like, there were so many primers on, you know, what cards to draft, what cards are going to affect standard, what are going to, and like, as I mentioned, in the past few years, like even look at like MTG Goldfish or some of these other places like EDH Rec, they've kind of taken over the airwaves of Magic, and it's been such a focus on Commander. And then it was a time period where Commander cards went up like crazy. But Magic's really killed that market. So again, this channel is more focused on cards going up and down. When Magic is putting out 4 Commander decks per set, there's just not a lot of things they can reprint. And they've just actually crushed Commander. Commander was, for a while, the big bread and butter for, you know, cards going up. What I do is I look at a new deck coming out and I tried to do that Bloom Burrow. Like Bloom Burrow, I looked at some of the precons that were coming out and like, okay, what cards are actually good to go in this deck? Like, and then I remember it was the Chatterfang from Modern Horizons 2 was one of the most popular decks because of the squirrels coming out. I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's a card, and everything been reprinted within the past like few sets. Because Wizards of the Coast just can't keep up with the reprinting of, I mean, there's just, with that many products coming out, they reprint things like crazy. Anyway, I'm starting to digress of what this video was. So anyway, what I do on my other channel for Forgotten War Games that a lot of people seem to enjoy is I unbox the stuff that comes in and kind of talk about it. So let's go ahead and put the camera down here. And I'm going to show you the Ultimates. And again, like I said, I'll pull it up, see if we can, I need to get a better, I think that's pretty good. You guys can see that. And I'll pull it up on the screen too of these Ultimate Editions. And as I mentioned, why I'm very bullish on this particular product, and if you can actually find good deals on these suckers, I think that they are going to age well. Like, the problem with this product is it's not the best for competitive players, because competitive players hate foils. So in fact, Secret Lair Ultimate Edition 1 was not foils, because they realized that people are going to buy fetch lands, they wanted, you know, the fetch lands probably wanted them for decks they had to get deck checked in an actual tournament. But for whatever reason, they didn't do that with the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition 2. With the what do they call them? The flip lands? Now, again, not in standard, but the whole reason why I decided to go deep on these, and deep is just a few cases. It's not, you know, I'm not a big player in this though. I mean, this is probably like, I don't know, $1,000 worth of them, if that. The reason being is I do think that they are going to be played in Pioneer from here until Pioneer gets a better version of lands, which I don't think they'll ever get fetch lands. So it's one of the best ways to fix a two-color deck is having the two-colored decks. And obviously Zach wants to be in the film. He's just itching to be in here. And yeah, he's like, he can't keep his hands off of it too. So he's going to open one up for us.
You want to open one? You look forward.
And
I didn't realize you were still doing a video, so my bad.
So again, these are something that I just think were a no-brainer. And these sort of scenarios I love when they come up because, again, this product's old. So I don't foresee it actually going down in price. You know what's so dumb about these? We're going to fill up our landfill again. I'm actually going to take all of these out. So I particularly do not think this particular product is going to be searched and sold and sought after on like TCG Player secondary markets. People are not going to be searching for Ultimate Edition 2 and purchasing it. What's going to happen, as I mentioned, that this particular cards probably aren't going to be the ones purchased by Pioneer players because they don't like foils. What's going to happen though is all of the non-foils are going to be purchased, and the price of those are actually going to come up. So right now these Ultimate Edition cards are worth a little bit more than the normal versions of them, but I'm thinking the Pioneer players are going to eventually outstretch or outbuy the supply of the normal versions, and then when Commander players go to look for the cheapest card, it's going to be these foil versions, and then they're going to go up. So that's my whole what? No, Zach just wants to interrupt. He thinks I'm talking too much. He wants to come in and interrupt my video because he's got the worst ADD, and so he's listening to it, and he's like, oh, get to the point. Let's just open stuff. So that's what's happening here with Zach with his interruption. So welcome to my chaotic life of almost being micromanaged.
I'm micromanaging you.
All right, so yeah, so these are the black editions actually. So these ones actually are worth a little bit more. They have like a gray edition, a black edition. It's just the quality of the box. So it's stupid. Wizards of the Coast, man. They print a billion SKUs for everything. All right, so this is where this comes in. Again, this is a cool idea of how it was set up, but the box is like there are so many complaints with it. They can go back to some of the YouTubers that do reviews on these. You can't even like display this stupid thing. It doesn't sit open. This little this thing here. It's just, again, it's awkward for me to even keep open. So what this did is it came with a playset of all of the lands, plus I believe a blast zone is in here. Yeah, there we go. So let's get rid of this. Anyone want these boxes? Let me know. I'm not going to pay for shipping. I'll ship you these stupid things. I wonder if Zach, if you can use these for any of your little projects, for these little windows that are in here. Because now he left, he's ignoring me. But anyway, so you get a playset of all of the lands of the pathways. And again, these are still cards, are still played in Commander quite often. And what was the price? We'll have to find the price. I'll have that all when I edit this video. I'll show you the price of what this costs, and I'll show you the total. We'll have the breakdowns of how much these are worth. And so, anyway, again, I actually don't think these are going to be highly sought after by the Pioneer players. Maybe people that do want to bling out their decks. However, they are pretty cards. However, yeah, I think Commander players are going to love these suckers. They still go in most Commander decks as, you know, lands are these ones are pretty staple in Commander. And what I like most about this particular product is it's a little bit discounted from its original price because it's been sitting on shelves forever. And I think it's finally time, it's been enough time for these particular cards to start to go up in value. Now, Battle for Zendikar was, or was it BFC? No. Let's say the Zendikar Rising was the set that and Kaldheim was definitely during the overprinting era of Magic the Gathering. So there are a lot of copies out there, but these cards are also these double-faced cards. They're hard to reprint. Yeah, Wizards has to do particular sheets for them, which is if they're going to do like a new Commander set. So Zach was like talking about, well, these are going to be just printed in the ground because they're going to release another Commander set. Well, possibly. What it means by that, like in the next Duskmourn, for example, they might have one of these. But the thing is, there's some logistics behind that, where with sheets, they need double-faced sheets to justify. So they need to do like the full run of them if they're going to do that. So they can have different sheets go in the printer and then cut them and whatnot. So there is like a little bit more operating cost that actually does affect the bottom line, and then does affect the decision-making of if Wizards of the Coast goes ahead and reprints these particular cards. Will they get reprinted? Absolutely. Will the reprints be enough to force the price down of these particular cards? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that Wizards of the Coast is going to... We've already started to see a slight decrease. I don't think we're going to see a Commander Masters product for a while. They canceled Pioneer Masters, made it digital only, which is a good sign for these suckers. So Wizards is definitely running out of their reprint equity. Can it actually be printed in a Secret Lair? Yes. Do Secret Lairs affect the overall market as much as we think? No. Oftentimes they don't. It's a little price bump, and then the supply is just definitely not there compared to like a full set of a release of cards, and these cards begin to rebound. So that's kind of my justification of why, like I said, I bought out however much left. I'll have to give you the full total of these suckers. It's so dumb. So so let's go back over here. So yeah, look how much waste. So this can be this entire box. One of these boxes had this little tiny bit of cards in them. And so I'm going to be able to fit this in my hand when all things is done. Oh, Wizards of the Coast, you are a lovely, man, think about the manufacturing cost, and most of it was actually in this stupid box, not even in the cards that people want. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. I thought this made a little interesting video for a spec that I actually went in on, and I'll tell you kind of the results. And one of the things too I went in on these is we are actually very low here at our store. We sell 99% of our players are Commander players. Sometimes we'll get a Pioneer player or a Modern player come through and want some decks. We have some play groups here and there that play those, and they'll come in and want these things too. But I mean, the Commander players have been eating these suckers up. And so this is just a good way for us to kind of refill our inventory at a discounted price, because I believe, like, when I did the math too, like all these cards would sell, I think for 90, I'm not sure. So I'm making like 40 bucks a box on these, of course, fees and shipping and things like that. But I mean, since we're selling at the store, you know, people will actually purchase them here, and it's just a no-brainer at that point. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this type of content, you can definitely come over to my Gun or Games channel, where I kind of do this more just point and shoot, and Zach interrupts me and it turns into a a crazy video. And of course, you get to see these dudes like hanging out and wagging their tails in the video, and kind of get to see my behind the scenes mess here at Gonro Games. So anyway, Chloe, what do you have to say, old girl? Should we close this video and get to work? Thanks for watching.